What if the Belgian, French and Portuguese leagues played in England? The Premier League will be as it is in real life with all the English teams, but the Championship will have Ligue 1, Ligue 1 will have the Portuguese League, which will be the Liga NOS, and Ligue 2 will have the Belgian League, which will be the Pro League, and we'll see over a number of seasons after a few simulations what happens and which teams do good, which teams do bad, and what is the final league tables after all of these seasons that I'm going to simulate. And it's going to show, is there any teams that do exceptionally well in the gems in FIFA 18, or are there any teams that just do much worse than you expect? Should be interesting, so let's get into this experiment. After season 1, Lyon ahead of Paris by 4 points in the Championship. PSG not as good as I was expecting. I was expecting them to run away with it, but no, Lyon have come back and have really given Paris a fight here, even though they've got Neymar, Cavani, some awesome players in their team. Marseille, Monaco, Jordans de Bordeaux and Saint Etienne are the 4 teams that could get through to the Premier League from the playoffs. And then down to the bottom you've got Wolves, Leeds United, Hull City, Fulham, all doing better than some of the French teams, so that could indicate that maybe the teams towards the bottom of the French League, Ligue 1, are just not very good, and maybe they're either Championship or Ligue 1 standard. So in Ligue 1 you've got Porto and Benfica, who will go through automatically, very close on points and only 2 goals to separate them. Sporting are probably the most likely team to get through in the playoffs, but you've also got Guimarães, Braga and Chaves, who also could get through to the Championship through the playoffs. Towards the bottom then, a lot of these English League 1 teams are struggling a lot, which is kind of what you'd expect really. From a top league in Portugal, you'd expect these teams to be able to beat the likes of Shrewsbury, Oxford United, Oldham and Plymouth. But Blackburn Rovers, considering they were relegated, as well as Wigan, they are actually doing very well. They're relegated from the Championship and now they're probably the best 2 teams in the league. So in League 2, Bruges, Club Brugge and winning it. You've got Anderlecht also doing alright, and Ghent. All those 3 teams will get through with an automatic promotion, and you've got Genk behind Ghent, Stade Liège, Zulvergem. Then you've got KV Oosterhuis, or whatever. Sorry, but these names are a bit, they're a bit different to what I'd usually pronounce. So sorry if I actually pronounce these wrong, but there are some interesting names that are very difficult to pronounce in this list. Wow, I did not think this through when I was making this video. At the bottom, a lot of English teams, but then you've got XL Mulskron at the bottom of all the Belgian teams, below Lincoln, Coventry, Luton, Mansfield, Notts County, also UPenn, also below Notts County as well. So quite a few teams there that in League 2 that are better than some of the teams in the Pro League. That's rather interesting. Then in the FA Cup, Manchester City, they beat Manchester United in the Manchester Derby. Porto losing the semi-final. Wigan also losing the semi-final. That's pretty interesting. PSG lose to Southampton. That is weird. I was not expecting that. Also Monaco losing to Bournemouth. Some upsets here and some interesting results. Then in the Carabao Cup, Benfica win it. So this is our first foreign team that's coming to England and won one of the domestic cups here, beating Everton on penalties. So overall, it's been a great season for Benfica. And then in the Championship playoffs, Monaco get through, so they'll be in the Premier League with PSG and Lyon. In the Premier League, after Season 2, Monaco are the best of the French teams, coming 7th, a point ahead of Paris, and then Lyon only in 14th place, a long way behind PSG and Monaco. This must mean that even though they're against better teams, they're not the better team themselves. They cannot play as well against these top teams like Paris and Monaco can. Maybe they're better players overall, the Paris and Monaco, and maybe those players are more suited to this level of football. Then in the Championship, Porto win it, Marseille in 2nd, quite a long way ahead of Benfica in 3rd once again, who got promoted from the playoffs last season from League 1. Nice, Bournemouth and Jordans de Bordeaux in the playoff spot. Saint Etienne just miss out by a few points. And then down at the bottom we see Strasbourg, Cayenne, Metz and Stade Troyes Dijon down at the bottom. Still Hull City, Wolves and Leeds United end up beating some of these French teams. Also Huddersfield and Brighton, who have been relegated from the Premier League last season. Sporting win the league. Toulouse FC also get through. Standard Liège, Guimarães, Nantes and Portimão, they're in the playoff places. Then we go down to the bottom of League 1. Wigan, surprisingly, after a brilliant season last time coming, was it 11th or 10th, now coming last. So what's happened to them? Blackburn Rovers also having a drastic drop in form, coming 19th, with Fulham doing the best out of those sides and not really doing too well either. So, in the League 2, Mechelin are top, Charleroi are second, and then Genk get through. I think they came 4th last season, so they just missed out, but this season they get in by 2 points. Oosterend, Zulte Waregem, and then Sint-Truiden and Royal Antwerp FC end up in the playoff spot. Notts County doing very, very well against some Pro League teams. Luton Town also doing well. XL Mouscron doing much better this time as well. So it's interesting to see these English teams really fight back. Exeter, Wickham, Lincoln City down towards the bottom there, not great for them. Then in the FA Cup, Lyon win it. They might have not done as well in the league, but in the cup, they beat Monaco 2-1 in the final to win it. And in fact, the semi-finals onwards were all foreign teams. And then in the Carabao Cup, Southampton beats Swansea. So all these top teams are nowhere to be seen in this. I don't know what they're doing, whether they're playing youth players or doing something else, but they weren't doing very well. Then in the Checkatrade Trophy, Sporting win it 1-1, but they win it on penalties. The third season has ended, and in the Premier League, PSG do the best this time out of the French teams, beat Monaco by points to get their own back, come 5th, so they're going to be in Europe next season, and Monaco are also in 6th place, not too bad for them. Lyon do it better in 10th, Porto 16th, Marseille 15th, and that's about it. At the bottom, or no, in the Championship now, Benfica and Sporting get promoted. Bordeaux still in the playoff spots, have been there every single season, but never managed to break into the top 2 to get promoted automatically or win the playoffs. Watford, Nice and Braga join them in the playoffs. Then towards the bottom, Estac Troyes last, Hull City finally relegated, Leeds getting close, Wolves stay in their 14th spot, doing quite consistently in the league. Then in League 1, Ghent dominate. I don't know why they've played 60 games. I think they've got a bit confused there. But they get 127 points, 9 points ahead of Guimarães. 127 points. That is unheard of in the League 1. They've played 60 games. Why have they played that? I don't know why this happened. But for some reason, teams just decide, you know what, I'm going to play you more than we should do. But it's weird. If any of you know why this happens in FIFA, feel free to put it in the comment section. So I'd love to learn how this works. But in the bottom of League 1, Das Aves, Zulte Waregem, Tondela are the ones to get relegated. Oh, actually no, and Blackburn I think get relegated as well. So Blackburn relegated to the League 2, not as good as some of these other Portuguese teams and the French teams and that sort of thing. And then Fulham just missed out on relegation, lucky for them. Okay, in League 2, Oosterend finally get promoted after a few seasons of improvements. Sint-Truiden also comes second, and you've got Korjevik coming third, Royal Antwerp coming fourth, Moreirense coming fifth, and then Cas Yupan in sixth, with Walsberen coming seventh. They make up the playoff spots and the promotion spots, finally. Okay, in the bottom of League 2, Lincoln, Mansfield, Wycombe. You know, a lot of good names I can pronounce. It's lovely. Yes, keep coming bottom so I can pronounce your names better. Then you've got Santa Maria in 13th place, Bavista 12th place. A lot of good teams there that are kind of doing better now, but they're still stuck in League 2. What are you playing at? So, in the FA Cup then, Manchester United win against Monaco to be champions of the FA Cup. They've claimed English glory again now. And then in the Carabao Cup, the English glory has just been demolished as Monaco beat Strasbourg 2-1 to win the Carabao Cup. Brilliant season for them. PSG struggle against Strasbourg, which is quite surprising. And Nantes win the Checkatrade Trophy. And then in the Europa League, Lyon lost in the quarterfinals, unfortunately, though. Now, we're starting to get closer to the end now on Season 4. Chelsea win the league. Man City second, but then Paris in third place. They finally managed to get into the Champions League. And again, they're points ahead of Monaco. These two teams cannot be split apart at all. Every season they've been in the Premier League, they've been a point between each other. And this time Paris come on top. I think that's 2-1 to Paris now. So maybe Paris will win this overall. Then down you got towards 12th place. You got Porto doing alright. Jordan's the Bordeaux finally get promoted from the playoffs last season. Well done to them. Wow. Marseille, Benfica in 18th place. Then right at the bottom, unfortunately, they won the championship in the first season, but now they've deteriorated and now they're in 20th place. And the bottom, they're relegated, and they'll be back in the championship next season, hoping to come back and win the league again. So, in the championship, you've got quite a few English teams up there doing very, very well. Newcastle, Swansea, Brighton, Bournemouth, Watford, Toulouse, the only team that is French in the playoffs, Wolves doing better, and these English teams now are finding their foot in this league. They're finding it easier now that some of the teams have been mixed around a bit, and they've got more teams that are on their level or on their quality. At the bottom, Amiens, Guingamp, Angers, and Montpellier, their teams right near the bottom. Leeds United still surviving. Huddersfield having a terrible season, really, comparing them to the other teams. They're just not doing very well. They're not really fitting their standard of football. Then Genk through to the championship, and then Anderlecht are in the championship as well after coming second. Nantes, Maritimo, KN, and Estrella Praia, they end up in the playoff places. Hull City just missing out by 2 points, unlucky. Then in the bottom, Eupen Chave, Sint Truiden, and Kortrijk. They come near the bottom as well. Anyway, in League 2, Blackburn Rovers, how has this happened again? It's happened again. They've played 87 games. They've got a bit carried away. They've played 87 games. How do you even play 87 games? Like, you'll be playing it every couple of days. That is insane. 87 games. 87 games. What is going on? 171 points. Oh, like, 171. This is ridiculous. Zolty Gem, 153 points. There's a massive gap between Blackburn Rovers and all these teams below them. Wigan also getting to the playoffs just about in 6th place. You've got Vals Berenven, and then you've got Tundela, Bavista and Morense in the playoffs as well. So at the bottom, Lincoln City, Notts County, Wickham, Exeter, Plymouth, all the English teams now are finally starting to move towards the bottom. There's still a few decent English teams up towards the top. I'm talking about League 2 teams now. Teams that started in League 2, that haven't left the League 2, are starting to filter down to the bottom, and it's making it, there's a bit more of a segregation between these foreign teams and English teams. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. What have we concluded from these experiments? Well, these teams are extremely inconsistent. They're extremely inconsistent. They cannot seem to produce similar results over a period of time. You've got Paris, who have such a good team, struggling in certain years, but in other years they do very, very well. So it's all about which team can be consistent for the long enough time. Which team has the most stamina when it comes to creating consistent results? Because we see a lot of variation in what's happened today. And you can also see some of the best teams are going to the top and are doing very well, but also the English teams fight back a bit, and they can actually beat some of these teams, even though a lot of these teams are in, towards the top of some of these top leagues in Europe. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe and leave a like, and also comment if you want to see any other experiments in this video or on my channel, sorry. And I will hopefully try and make them. Thanks for watching once again, and I will see you in the next one.